Hi everybody, my name is Jayashree Naidu, Assistant Professor of Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am speaking about listening comprehension. Afterwards we'll be moving on to phonetics, the most important part of speaking in English. Firstly, let us go through listening comprehension. Most of us have been going through comprehension passages in the examination part where they are given as a paragraph and questions follow and the students are asked to answer them after reading the text of the comprehension passage. Here, as we developed our ability to read, now it is our part to listen carefully and answer the questions that will be given after the passage. This is what we call listening comprehension. Listening comprehension is completely different from reading the text of comprehension passage. Here, all the aspects of listening has to be taken into consideration and various details of the passage are to be answered after going through the various parts of the passage. Here, this includes the active process of listening. A person has to take a careful note on the mind to preserve the various details on a note in the mind. And you could listen to the passage once or twice, then remember the various aspects of it in order to expect where the questions would be asking the details about it. Listening comprehension is more than just listening or hearing what is said. As we previously discussed, listening is not hearing, and hearing could not be equal with listening. So, here a person has to focus and listen. It is not simply hearing, because listening enables us to note down the various important parts of the comprehension. Listening is a process of receiving, constructing meaning from, and responding to spoken or unspoken, verbal or non-verbal messages. So, when we are listening to the comprehension passage as an audio or a video, a person has to receive and construct what the comprehension passage is indicating about. That is, what is the intention of that text or the audio that you are listening to. Afterwards, we have to note down the intention or the details or the information or the main points of the audio we listen to. This involves an active process by the listener. Now coming to the various components of comprehension, listening to it. Here, a person by name Chastain, listening comprehension, he divided them into 4 components. Firstly, the ability to differentiate all sounds, intonation patterns, and voice qualities. This is what is meant by understanding the audio perfectly. When we differentiate all sounds, our pronunciation of particular words will be differing from the native's pronunciation, or the various regions where the same words are differently pronounced. We need to make a note of it on our mind and remember. Secondly, understanding the whole message. What is the intention of the passage or the audio text that you listen to? That is, whether it is a part of a story or a chronological order about any piece of information, or a research paper where a particular environment or pollution-oriented or any science-oriented facts are mentioned. Thirdly, it is the ability to hold the message in one's auditory memory and to process it. When we listen to any particular piece of text, the part of that information where we easily correlated ourselves with or the fallback information is there on our mind, those details are easily preserved when we take them out as remembering when we go through the questioning part of it. So here the auditory memory has to be active and the person has to listen carefully, remember attentively. Lastly, we have to understand unfamiliar topics by relying more on linguistic clues. What is this linguistic clues? For example, laser. The word laser is generally understood as a laser show or a laser beam, or the laser beam that is used by the doctors while operating for any particular disease or disorder. So when the word laser, when you hear that in the auditory tape, our connectivity with it would be enabling us to find the correlative happening in the coming part of the audio. So here our auditory memory as well as linguistic clues, these are the two most important aspects of solving the comprehension that after that we are asked as question part. So listening comprehension tests a person ability to remember, ability to pay attention, ability to understand the various pronunciation patterns of the speaker. Now, here we discuss about the methods to achieve effective listening comprehension. As this is the communication skills part of English, this listening comprehension is also equalized as a tool to improve our listening abilities. First, the person who teaches this listening comprehension has to prepare the students' set of mind by giving out the information about the purpose behind the activity. The various test patterns of international English examinations have this as an integral part of their examination pattern. So the students has to understand the purpose behind listening comprehension. When they understand the significance of this activity, they'll be able to focus more efficiently and try to give a better performance. Secondly, set the stage. Here, the person has to provide the friendly environment for the listener by removing the background sounds and giving appropriate sitting facilities. Here, if the seats are not properly set for the students to go through with the proper equipment of headsets, that will cause uneasiness and disturbances while listening to it. So, the provisions has to be carefully given to the students so that they could sit properly and no background disturbances so that the audio tapes are properly heard by them and so that their performance levels will be better. Thirdly, tell the students what will transpire after they listen the comprehension. Here, the person has to provide the inputs, what is meant to be tested. If it is a story-oriented comprehension that the audio tape consists of, the student's understanding of correlating the incident which is mentioned in the beginning and how it ends and what are the characters that are mentioned in the tape. This enables the students to be prepared mentally if the inputs are given that they are about to listen an audio tape based on this story. If this passage begins with the chronological order about a particular dynasty of a historical happening or any particular incident like First World War or Second World War, the students listening will be focused on capturing the importance or significant dates of that happening or the persons mentioned in that information. If that is about any particular science report or psychological analysis or any logical argument presented as a matter of information, the student's mindset will be prepared to receive the input and analyze them accordingly. So, the provisor has to be careful to give the various inputs related to the topic that is going to be played as a videotape or audio tape to the students. Next, the person has to provide the follow-up related to the listening comprehension. What is to be expected by the student after listening to the particular comprehension? So the student mind will be ready to go with the resulting happening after the activity. If the student is about to listen to a native's pronunciation, the person would be more careful related to listening aspect. If that includes the colors or the various aspects of the video, the student will be ready to receive the audio as well as the video details, so that that person would be coming out with a better performance after it. Now, here a particular tape is provided in the link given below in the description, where the students has to go through the test related to a video and some questions given after them. Now we come to the most important aspect of speaking in English through listening, that is phonetics. In English alphabet, there are 26 letters, but they provide 44 sounds. For example, if you remember, CHALK is pronounced as chak. The same CHORUS, where the beginning spelling is CH, it is pronounced as chorus. In the previous one, the CH is pronounced as cha. In the second one, it is pronounced as k. If you remember, BROCHURE, it is pronounced as brochure. Again, the CH is pronounced as sh. So, the alphabet CH are providing the combination for the sounds k, ch, and sh. So, the confusion is happening. 26 letters giving the combination for 44 sounds. For this reason, one letter is used to produce more than one sound. In order to know the correct pronunciation, certain symbols denoting these sounds have been devised and standardized. Here, this is what we call phonetic alphabet. The same alphabet cannot be used for providing different sounds. In order to make the task easy, a specialized study was done and various different alphabet are created, developed in order to give easy way to go for pronunciation. And these specialized alphabet or symbols are called as phonetic alphabet. Now you listen to a particular tape where a small child answers her anguish related to not preferring to eat meat, and her mother goes on provoking, trying to convince the child so that she will be ready to eat meat. But the child is adamant and doesn't want to eat meat. Here, your focus has to be on the pronunciation rather than going through the video details or as an entertainment. Focus how the child's pronunciation or the mother's pronunciation of English related to the particular sounds of t, d, p, b, ch.
I don't want to eat them ever again.
Oh, do you think, so what will you eat instead?
I will eat whatever there's on the table, but not chicken or meat.
Why do you think you don't want to do that?
Because they're animals and I like animals.
So what will we do if we miss eating chicken and meat?
I don't miss eating chicken and meat.
How about fish?
Fish?
Yeah.
Fish? Is it an animal?
Yeah.
I won't eat that either.
Oh my God. So what?
I won't eat animals.
Okay. So what do you want to eat? What kind of food do you want to eat?
Anything's on the table, but not animals.
Why do you feel sorry for animals?
Because they're nice, and I know that we cook them sometimes, which is not very nice. And I know we like to eat animals that we cook, but that's not nice for them.
Yeah. Do you think they suffer?
I think that they don't really like being cooked in the oven.
Now, as you are done with listening to the video, let us further probe into the details of pronunciation. In 1888, the International Phonetic Alphabet was invented. This is to provide a system where a one-to-one correspondence between each sound in language and the phonetic symbol happens. This made things easy for the learners of the language, particularly in English. This gives us the facility to understand the various finer aspects of pronouncing the sounds. For example, the ta is different from our general Indianized sound of t, and d of English is different from the general Indianized sound of d, as we pronouncing God, or as a starting word, dog. In Indian way, we pronounce it as God. D is particularly pronounced to show that the ending consonant sound. Now coming to the beginning part of the word with d. Dirty. D and t are particularly pronounced, giving the force related to the pronunciation. The same word pronounced in the native way, dirty, dirty, d-t. So, these finer aspects of pronunciation are to be observed carefully and practiced more carefully. Phonetics is the branch of linguistics that deals with the sounds of speech and their pronunciation or production, combination, description, and representation. For this, some different symbols are developed. Some are known to us, which are taken from the general letters of the alphabet. Mostly in the consonant sounds we find them. And related to vowel sounds, in our Indian way, we are very well known with these 5 vowel sounds, that is a, e, I, o, u. But this u sound is wrongly taken as a vowel sound because it is u using the mouth. The sound is made using the mouth part rather than the vocal cords part. How this is different from the vowel sounds that we produce is understood in the next slide, where I discuss about vowel sounds in an elaborate manner. Let us move on with the phonetics. Here, the significance of phonetics is, by learning these symbols, one will be able to find the correct pronunciation of any word in a standard dictionary. Dictionary is the main authority for us, either related to the phonetics part, that means pronunciation part, or the meaning part, or knowing its antonyms and synonyms, and also the way it is used as an example sentence. So when we understand and remember the phonetic alphabet, it becomes easy for us to understand the pronunciation patterns of it. These symbols will also help us to go through the book with guidance for correct pronunciation of words and conversations. When a person says the police are called, the police, Police is the word with the spelling Police. It is in general in an Indian manner pronounced as police. But the correct pronunciation is police. So, when we understand the phonetic alphabet, you will be able to know the correct pronunciation when you look at the pronunciation alphabet given in the dictionary. Next, it is the sounds are classified into two types. Every language has sounds because a proper pattern of sound is what is meant by a language. Sounds are made by animals, but they don't have any proper pattern. Yes, the animals do shout in a pattern of their own shouting style. For example, the dog, when it sees its person, the owner who feeds it daily, it will be barking in a friendly manner. When it sees a stranger who enters into the house, opening the gate, before the person puts the step inside, the dog will be shouting in a fierce manner, which is called as barking. That fierceness of its shouts brings the persons out from the inner parts of the house to see any stranger or any thief or any dangerous thing that is happening outside. So this is in a way alerting the inmates of the house. But when it comes to the humans, our language, our shouting, our making of the sound is in a finer tune, and it is named as language. And it also has different sound patterns which we call them as different languages. The sound patterns of English is different from the sound patterns of Telugu. The sound patterns of English is different from the sound patterns of Spanish. The sound patterns of Urdu is different from the sound patterns of Hindi. So the sound patterns make the specific different aspect of any language. The same way, we must learn the finer sound patterns of English. In general, for any language, we have two different sound patterns that we call one as vowel sounds, the second as consonant sounds. Here, the vowels are 20 in number. It is a syllabic speech sound pronounced without any stricture in the vocal cords. Before going through this without any stricture in vocal cords, we'll be going through the mouth parts afterwards. First, let us go through the finer aspects of understanding what is meant by vowel sound, what is meant by consonant sound. So, here we must remember, vowels are the sounds which are made without any stricture in the vocal cords. Stricture means friction. No friction of vocal cords happens. It is a gliding, a smoother pattern of movement from one sound to the other from the vocal cords. Next, we come to the consonant sounds. These are 24 in number, and they are made articulated with complete or partial closure of the vocal tract. But let us understand the parts of the mouth before going deep into understanding that various aspects of vowels are consonants. Here, the mouth is not just the teeth or the lips or the neck. We generally differentiate. Here, let us start with the lips, which are visible outside. A little bit inner part to the lips is the teeth. And much inner part of the mouth is the alveolar ridge. And above the alveolar ridge, there is a nasal cavity. That is felt by us whenever we are affected by cold. This partial closure of the nasal cavity creates lots of trouble for us to pronounce the words in a clear manner. We suffer a lot because we cannot utter any word properly. Sometimes the closure will be so terrible that the doctor tells us to keep quiet. Don't try to speak. And after this nasal cavity, we have the palate. Palate is the tongue. Next, we have the oral cavity, the upper and lower part of the mouth where the tongue moves freely, a little chamber. After this oral cavity, we have velum, then pharynx. Pharynx is the foot passage where we hold that to speak. After the pharynx, epiglottis is there and larynx. Larynx is the other way we call it as vocal cords. Epiphagus, esophagus and larynx, these are the foot passage parts which are kept carefully closed when you are speaking. The voluntary opening of it, suddenly that causes us the disturbance through causing a lot of cough, which we suffer when you wish to speak and the swallowing of some food item happens simultaneously. So vocal cords, nasal cavity, oral cavity, alveolar ridge, nasal cavity, lips and the teeth. These are the important parts that enable us to give a proper pronunciation of the sounds or the words. Now, coming to the lips part, most of the consonant sounds p, b, v are pronounced. Now coming to the teeth part, d, t, sh. This sh sound onwards, we take the help of oral cavity. Sh, j, z. These are the sounds that take help of the oral cavity. Now coming to These are the sounds which take the help of nasal cavity more. This is the reason when we are affected by cold, we could not pronounce the words which start with m sound or n sound or ng sound. So, understanding the various parts of mouth gives us the help to know where to put the tongue or leave the part of it to give a right pronunciation. Related to vowel sounds, the vocal cords play the very important role. For example, the sound or a sound or e sound or e sound. And starting from a, e, u, o, ow, a, I, all these sounds take the help of vocal cords. These things we study with more details in the coming slides. Here we take up the consonant sounds. The first row of words, the alphabet, the pa, the p. Here the first one is the capital or the small letter P, but it should be taken as P because we are talking about consonant sounds, not the alphabet. So all the alphabet which are in small letters, we need to take the sound rather than the alphabet. So we start with the first letter, that is P, which should be pronounced as P. Here the example word is given and it is pin, pin, not pin, pin. So observe carefully how the two lips are coming closer enough to make the sound P, pin. Secondly, we have the alphabet B. Here also the two lips are coming closer, a slight change to make it different from P. It is B. And the example sound is given is bad, bad. Here the sound is the same but a little slightly pronounced, B. And next is T. The small letter T is written there, but we take it as the sound T. T, T-I-N, pronounced as tin, not tin. Now please understand, that Indian pronunciation tin. Tin. Tin is pronounced as tin. The tongue slightly touches the alveolar ridge, the fleshy part that appears immediately after the teeth or from where the teeth originate. That is a better explanation. So, observe when you are pronouncing the word, repeat after me so you could follow the sound pattern and also know where to touch, the tongue part to touch. Ta, pa, ba. So, T-I-N instead of tin. Try to pronounce it as tin. Next we have the sound D. Here the alphabet small letter D is taken as D. D. D-O-G. Dog. Dog. Your tongue has to touch a little bit inner part on the alveolar ridge. T, D. T, D. Repeat these two sounds yourself to understand how T differs from D. Next it is F. The two lips are there, yet the teeth is slightly touching the lower lip to make it F sound. If you touch it stronger to the lower lip, it becomes V sound. So, understand the niceties of touching the teeth part with the lips. F. Instead of it is taking it as a small letter F, we should consider it as F. Like the word in fan or flower. So here not much difference is there between Indian F sound or anglicized F sound. Both are a little bit the same. Now we come to the V. V as in van. If you forcibly touch it, we slightly down the third row, W is there. If you observe, that is V sound. F, V, V. So three limits of touching the lips. Slighter, slightly, a little bit force. F, V, V. When you are using that particular words, we'll come to understand how nicer it is to touch it, how stronger it is to touch the lip. Next, we have two sounds, that is, one is th, second is the. For these two, we have a common alphabet or spelling orient. TH is used for both the th sound as well as the sound when we are spelling them. For example, THUMB is pronounced as thumb. Thumb. WEATHER, weather. The same TH is used for the sound also. So, now here we come back again to T, D, Th, D. T, D, Th, D. Find the difference in touching the alveolar ridge with your tongue. This gives us better understanding when you are pronouncing. So rather than teaching or listening, it is about practicing those sounds that makes a person well equipped with the pronunciation. So related to the consonant sounds and vowel sounds, the more is the practicing session, the better will be the performing session. Now, the th sound is the same as our th, but as in anglicized, it is a refined sound that you will be pronouncing. Th, not the. Th, thumb. Okay, next, here THIN is the example word used. Now, repeat the same yourself. Thin, thin. The Indianized pronunciation is thin. Anglicized pronunciation is thin. Thin. Next, the sound. The is T-H-A-T. That. 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 It is half the, half the. That. Next is sound. That is M. Don't take it as the alphabet M, but remember to take it as the sound M. Here also the two lips are closing, but a slight difference in pronunciation. P, B, M. P, B, M. So you need to repeat each consonant to know its difference. That makes us a better understanding related to the pronunciation. Here there is man. Ma has general sounds very much. Here not much difference is there between Indian ma sound, anglicized ma sound. Almost both are equal. Mango, man, map. Next alphabet is N, as you see there. Here it is na sound. Na, consonant na. Na, N-O-S-E, nose. Here also there is not much difference between Indianized and Anglicized. Na. Ma, na. Next comes ing sound. This we don't have much used as an alphabet in our Indianized spelling, but here we have N and G both combined to make that ing as its symbol. And while pronouncing, it is thing, thing, sing. So the nasal cavity is used more for this. Next is H in small letter, but it should be taken as a representative, as a symbol for ha sound. Ha. It is the same as Indianized and Anglicized. Half, hal. Next is cha. This symbol is much different from the ta sound or the ch spelling that we use in general spelling of the words. So when you see that in dictionary, this symbol we need to take to represent the alphabet or the sound unit, cha. Cha is chack, chat. Next is D and Z or za sound. D and z together used for j. In our Telugu alphabet or Indianized Hindi alphabet, we have j alphabet direct. But in our English, that j is used as a spelling part. But here j is used as a symbol for ya sound that will be coming at the end part of these consonants. Here coming to j, judge, jump. So it is, we need to remember the alphabet of the consonant. Next is ka sound. Small letter k is used for ka sound as a symbol of consonant sound. Next is g is used for ga sound, like gate, gulp, sing. So here na and ga, please remember na and ga sounds together form this consonant sound ng. And we are now going through ga sound as a special unit for consonant sound. Now we come to the sa sound. It is, we are familiar in Indianized, so we need not remember much. Only the small letter sa, s, is used for denoting the consonant sound sa. Say, or sa, or see, or seal. All these come under consonant sound example of sa. Now here the small letter z is used, but the sound is different. It is not z, it is z sound. Z is denoted to be the symbol for z sound as we speak in zoom, zeal. This z is different from j. Observe and repeat the same pronunciation when you are listening. J, z. Did you observe that the ja sound is made by the tongue touching the roof of the nasal cavity or the ridge part of our mouth? the roof part of our mouth, J. But when you pronounce Z, zeal, the same tongue part is touching the edge part of the nasal cavity or the roof of the mouth, but it is not the alveolar ridge. Z, zoom, zeal. So, observe the finer aspects of consonants. This makes things easy for us to understand the pronunciation pattern or the dictionary-oriented words, to know the phonetic alphabet much better and much faster. Now coming to the next, J. Did you observe that? Z and J. And here it is, the middle part, elongated S is sh sound. Z, sh, j. They are very closely related. And looking at them and learning them to practice the pronunciation. Again repeat after me. Z, sh, j. Almost the tongue position is the same, but small differences and the air push between the tongue and the roof part of our mouth makes all the difference. Z, sh, j. So the Z as in zoom or the zeal, sh as in ship or sheet, wish, fish. Next it is measure, leisure, pleasure. Repeat the words that are spoken by me in order to make the differences remembered by us perfect. Next comes the la sound. It is the same as we speak in our Indianized languages or English, la, as in leg or laps or lamp. Next comes ra sound. The small letter alphabet R is used to be the consonant alphabet or the phonetic symbol for the ra sound. R, r. This anglicized ra sound is different from Indianized ra sound. R is anglicized, r, r, r. That is Indianized. Now as we speak in round, that is Indianized. Round, ramp, roll. In American pronunciation, ra sound is more clearly pronounced rather than the British-oriented English pronunciation. Art, art. That is Britain-oriented. Art, art. Ra is pronounced with a little bit precise. Okay, art, heart, art, heart. The consonant ta is crisply pronounced in Britain kind of pronunciation. The ra sound is a little bit significance is given in pronunciation in Americanized pronunciation. Observe these two differences carefully during your lab activities. This gives you better understanding related to Americanized pronunciation and Britain pronunciation. Lastly, we come to two sounds, consonants, v, water. The words which start with W spelling, the alphabet, are more pressurized in pronouncing the v sound. As I said previously, f, v, v. Water, quarter. Here we give a more pressure to the pronunciation of v sound rather than v, simplified like v as in vase, van, Vatican. Here the water. Give me a glass of water. Water the plants daily. So the v, the stress of the word falls on the first consonant sound. That is this W alphabet to be used in the consonant sounds. The words that begin with consonant sound. In the phonetic alphabet, water. The stress has to be in the va sound. Next we come to the ya sound. This is the where our Indianized vowel sounds are wrongly taken when you say that the 5 vowel sounds A, E, I, O, U. No, it is A, E, I, O, U rather than U. Here this U sound begins with the ya sound. That is what the representation given in this phonetic alphabet, that is by J, the alphabet J used for ya sound. The ya sound is the same as in anglicized or Indianized. So with this we come to the end of consonant sounds. So now along with me you practice say the consonant sounds. P, B, T, D, F, T, D, M or M, N or N, Ing, F, H, J, K, G, S, Z, Sh, J, L, R, V, Y. The practicing session of every day for 5 minutes will make us fluent in remembering these sound units or phonemes as we call them in our phonetics. And this will add a flavor of English to your English. Let us move on to the vowel sounds. Here, coming from Indianized mother tongues, it will be better for us to remember the vowel sounds starting from A to AHA, as we have those alphabet in our Indianized languages. But much difference is there related to the vowels, the sounds we have in our phonetics. Some of them perfectly match with the vowel sounds of English, but many differ. Now let us learn the vowel sounds. The first one is the elongated E sound, that is E, as we say in sheep, feel, steel. The STEEL as a noun, the metal. And the STEAL as a verb, stealing something. Both have the same E, elongated E sound, but the spelling differs. So here the need for specific symbols for the sound units occurred. That is what International Phonetic Association helped us in understanding English pronunciation in an easier way. So here the first one is E sound. Next one is sh, the shortened E sound. Next is oo, good, look, took. So this is the shortened oo sound. Next one is oo, elongated oo sound, as we use in FOOD. In our Indian way we pronounce it as foot, but in English oriented anglicized way it has to be pronounced as food, food items. It is not food items. Next is A sound, beg, leg, net. And here the alphabet E is used, so there won't be any problem for us to remembering. But some of them like E sound or oo sound, all these we need to practice to remember and use them when we are using a dictionary. Now we come to the A sound, that is the end part. It is not teacher. Ra sound is a little bit stopped abruptly, giving to the A sound. Teacher, above, above. It is not above. It is not ago. AGO is generally pronounced in our Indian English way as ego. ABOUT is pronounced as about. No, make it a remembering thing that it is not A sound, it is A sound as represented by the symbol here. About, ago, allow. So that part of sound is presented here as that inverted E sound, E alphabet. Next is that sound unit which comes from the base part of the throat. All these E, U, A, all these are without any stricture of the vocal cords. For a better understanding, you can touch the throat part of your neck, the base part of the throat, to know the origin of the sounds. No part of the mouth, either the teeth or the tongue, is used when you are making the sounds of vowels. Here the R sound as in bird, burn. This is the base sound of the vowels. Next comes a slighter, lighter R sound. That is when we use call, tall, door, open the door. That comes from the upper part of the throat. Like to show you precisely, the comes from this base part. This A comes from the middle part. A, E, U. When you are speaking them, touch the throat part to know the part of the vocal cords, either the base part or the much deeper part of the throat. Here when you are saying bird, urge, this part of the throat is used, that part of the vocal cords, more than the throat, it is the vocal cords. And there won't be any friction or the stricture. The later part is A. For this we don't have any Indianized alphabet. It is half R sound, half A sound that results in A. For example, A-P-P-L-E, apple. Here, when you have to write that in Indianized languages like Telugu or Hindi, we either use A sound or R sound. But it is wrong, it is A sound. Lack, L-A-C-K, half R sound followed by A sound, A. Next one is A, that is bud, mug, mud. Next one is that is Ra sound. Which comes after this like army, alarm, alarm. The first one is the inverted E, where we have the example word as teacher. Lam, la plus that is the next one where the alphabet A is used with 2 dots. Arm, alarm. Next is the inverted A, which is used for sound. That is on. The TV is on. Caught, C-O-T, caught. So the sound is inverted A. The symbols. We need to remember these symbols. These are the singular vowel sounds, whom we call pure sounds. Now we come to the double sounds of vowels. That is, 2 vowel sounds are used to make 1 vowel sound. Here the gliding from one vowel sound to the other makes the sound as one sound unit, which we call as a phoneme. Here, as you see, the word E and ear. The gliding from the vowel sound E to ear. It happens without any stricture or any friction. So we call them as diphthongs, that is 2 vowel sounds. The previous pure vowel sounds, we call them monophthongs. So we are done with monophthongs. Now we entered into diphthongs. So the signs Also where we have carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, diphthong, monophthong. So now observe the language as I told you previously. Mono and di. Mono means one, monophthong. Di means two. But here we pronounce not as diphthongs but as diphthongs. So di here is the two. Two vowel sounds making one vowel sound. So here the simple easy flow from one vowel sound to the other. Here, mia. Next we have the second diphthong, that is a. A and e. The flow from a sound to e sound, a. Generally, here we have a better example. Weight is the common thing. It could be W-E-I-G-H-T, it could be W-A-I-T. But one difference is there related to Indian languages pronunciation of M-O-N-D-A-Y, Monday. We simply say that Monday. What is the day today? Today is Sunday. But in English pronunciation, D-A-Y has to be pronounced as day, a, day, today, yesterday, yesterday. It is not yesterday, 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 Monday, Monday. So the stress and the alphabet, phonetic alphabet, understanding these two gives us much better pronunciation of English. A. After the A sound, we come to the UA. U and A. UA. Tourist, tourist. It is not tourist. Tourist, tourist. When you listen to the natives speaking in English, this understanding of the phonetics help us much better in a way to understand which word is being pronounced by them. Tourist, tour, poor, P-O-O-R, oor. So oor sound. Next comes I, tie, boy. Now we have the inverted A sound, inverted alphabet of E with U sound. Ow, show, O. The general O sound as we have in our Indian languages, A-I-O. That O sound is considered as a diphthong involving A and U. O. Next is Aya. A and A. These two vowel sounds resulting in Aya sound. H-A-I-R. Hair. This is how we see it being written. Hair. No, it has to be pronounced as hair. Hair. A-I-R. Air. Air. Hair. So remember Aya, Aya. Next is I, A and E sound resulting in I, tie, my. And even the single vowel sound has a word E-Y-E, I, or even the capital letter I, which significantly represents ourselves or myself, I. That is the A and E sounds together. I, tie, tide, T-I-D, tide. Ow. Next we come to the last sound, ow. A-A-I-O-O, ow. So all the time try to connect the Indianized alphabet or the vowel sounds to make us remember these anglicized vowel sounds better. So finally the A sound, that is as we use it in found, round, ground, ground, round, found. So no much difference is there. So it is easy to remember rather than many other sounds of vowels. Let us once again speak out these diphthongs. So repeat with me. Ear, A, O, I, O, A, I, O, Ear, A, U, I, O, A, I, O. So when you observe, all these sounds almost are freely spoken by the vocal cords. No friction or no friction, no stricture is there. So strongly remember that A, E, I, O, U is the right way to speak about the 5 basic vowel sounds rather than saying A, E, I, O, U. European is not a vowel sound. U is consonant. It is not European. So understanding these vowel sounds makes us a better grammatically correct speaking person, because if you have not forgotten articles a, an and the, they are very closely related to the presence or absence of vowel sounds. So it is right when you say I saw a European rather than I saw an European. Most of the time they are wrongly answered in the examination rather than wrongly spoken. Generally when we are speaking, automatically the flow happens that we use a instead of an. But here when you are writing as a part of answering the grammar part, this mistake is made by most of us confusing the EU. ROPEAN, where this E represents vowel sound. So to be grammatically correct in both spoken way and writing way, understanding the vowel sounds and the consonant sounds helps us to be grammatically correct. So my dears, with all these consonants and phonetics, which are the phonemes of the phonetics, help us in understanding the language of English in speaking as well as using the dictionary and speaking fluence and answering fluence of the grammatical part of it. So phonetics is a very, very important part. And I wish you all the best related to the understanding of these sounds, units of English and a better way to pronunciation. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.